Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talk with D. And I remain Desire Igbe, your humble host. And today, I have in the studio, I don't even know how to start the introduction, but let me give the floor to the wonderful lady to introduce herself because nobody knows you more than you.
Hi everyone, my name is Wonu. My full name is Adewonuola Adebinte. I'm a final year student of psychology and I'm a content creator and a writer.
Writer. So, in one word, how would you describe your work with God?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One word,
Interesting.
interesting.
Interesting. Because a lot of people have a lot to say about God. But is it God you're talking about, or is there another God you're talking about? Because I came across this man who was just saying, talking about God, 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 God. What God are you talking about? We need to know this can be a God.
Mm-hmm.
This can be a God. Your shoe can be a God. But I believe that anything that you turn your attention away from the God, it's a God on its own. Because for me, I learned everything. That is one of the things.
Yeah.
So, moving over to today's topic. When we do things and when we're trusting God and when we have put in the work and we have walked and walked and walked and we are trusting God, understand?
Mm-hmm.
There is the process of waiting on God. So
Mm.
please explain to us, how do you wait on God? Because so many people do not know how to wait on God
Yeah.
because they have spoken to God about it, but they don't want to wait. They just want God to do it. Like do it now, now,
Yeah.
now, now. Just take for instance, a 3-year-old is praying to God. I think the 3-year-old can't even pray actually. Or he's like, oh God, I need a car. Do you understand? That's the kind of prayer that cannot be answered. That God will be like, okay, no, you can't have a car. Because of this and this and this. So in the waiting period, what are we to do in the
Mm.
waiting period?
Okay. I think the first thing we need to understand is God has a process, right?
Mm.
So every single time we're asking God for something, every single time we're trusting God for something, we need to understand that we have to respect His process and trust His process.
Mm.
And God isn't asking us to understand what He's doing. He's just asking us to lean on Him, to trust Him. There's never been a part where God was like, oh, understand what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. He might not explain it to you, but all you need to do is trust, right? So in the waiting, while you are trusting God's process and while you are waiting for Him to deliver on that thing that surely He will do because He has said that He will do it, right? What you need to do is pray. Keep up building yourself up and keep on praying. For example, I love using this story because I think it just captures the wait perfectly, right? And it's the story of Hannah, right? And how Hannah was barren for a long time. Her sister wife was like, making fun of her a lot. She was being mocked everywhere. She had been serving God diligently before getting married, after getting married. Even throughout the journey of her barrenness, she was still serving God so faithfully, always praying, going to the temple, spending time with God. And then one day she goes to the temple and then she prays to God and she tells God that, okay, God, if you just give me this one child, I'll give him to you.
Yeah.
Right? And giving a child to God back in the days, what that meant was once the child reaches a certain age, you drop the child off in the temple. So you don't see the child again, except for when you go to the temple for whenever something is happening and stuff. So that was a big sacrifice to make, right? But God needed her to go through that period of wait, right? So that she could build herself up and prepare her womb for the kind of child that she was about to carry. Because she gave birth to a prophet that did so many things, and he was part of the story of the entire Bible, So God was using that period of the wait to help her prune and develop her womb to be able to carry the weight of the glory that he was about to place in there. Just looking back at different things that have happened while you study the word, you understand that God isn't just making you wait just for the fun of it, just to see, do you even really trust me? He's actually working in that process and you need to trust his process. It's easy to get distracted, it's easy to get impatient, and God understands those emotions and He wants you to talk to Him about all of those emotions too, right? He gets that, but He can see the things you cannot see. His ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts higher than our thoughts, right? So He knows what's best for you, in as much as, because we only judge what's best for us by what we can see here, but there is so much more going on, so much more that we cannot even see, right? Fine, God may reveal some things to us, but there are some things that are still going on that we cannot see, but God sees those things, and God knows what is best for us. And just because something feels good at a time does not mean that truly the end trajectory of it all is what is right for us, but God can see those things. So as long as you lean on Him, trust His process, at the end of the day, it's going to come out amazing. All those years of waiting for Hannah, they were not sweet, they were not nice. The process was not nice, but she waited. She continued to diligently grow in her relationship with God, pray to God, seek God, and at the right time, when her womb was already well pruned to carry that glory, God gave her a son.
Yes. You kept using the word prune, 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 and then while you were talking, I just heard this thing that in the wait comes an appointed time. Because why is God making you wait? Like you said, it's not that He wants to see if you will trust Him, because He knows that along the line you won't trust Him, but He wants to see if you can wait through. There is waiting in and there is waiting through. What Hannah did was she waited through. She travailed, she prayed. So when once you're waiting, there is already an appointed time, but the wait brings you to the appointed time. Because once you're not patient with God, because in the wait there's patience, there's long suffering, there is joy. God never said that walking with Him is going to be easy. It is not. Because most people see it as Christianity is hard. Yes, Christianity is hard. Nobody said it was. Even Jesus Christ Himself didn't have it easy. He had to go and pray, oh God, if your will be done, let this cup pass over, because He knew what He was going to see. He knew what He was going to go through. But at the end, like they will always say, at the end of the tunnel, there's always light. Because He decided to shut His eyes from what He was seeing physically and look at the end. Because had it been Hannah, didn't wait, didn't want to, trust God, didn't want to look at God, didn't want to believe that God can do it, that God can give her a child. She would just, give up and be like,
I think it's really good how you spoke about waiting through and waiting in. Like, definitely there's that appointed time, but to get there are things you need to do during the wait. Because if Hannah had just sat back, relaxed, had a chill day, well, chill years, like just not praying, giving up and saying, oh, well, the appointed time will come. It's not going to come, because you also have to work to get to that time. It's not just like July 22nd and then you just wait and then it's going to happen. So
but like even if it is going to be July 22nd, because you're not doing the
work, it's not just going to happen.
It just makes your appointed time
keep going further and further.
And that's another thing that Christians, nowadays Christians, like it's on quote, nowadays Christians are doing. They are not putting in the work. Because there is a time set for you. Like, God is not someone that He just wakes up today and just decides that, okay, He wants to do it. No. God doesn't sleep, actually. But like, but He's not someone that He has every single thing planned out. From the day you will come in, look at how magnificent God is. Like, every single person on the earth, He has everything planned out for them. He has everything that He wants to be in your life. He knew that at this time you would be in the university. At this time you would graduate. At this time you will have a job. At this time you will do your youth service. At this time you will be married. At this time you would have your children. That's why He said His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So you cannot put yourself in God's position. You won't even be able to feel it. You won't be able to do what God is doing. So I like what you said. You don't have to understand the process. You don't have to know the process. You just have to trust the process. Like the way a baby will blindly trust the mother when the mother
Yeah.
keeps her on top of the bed and tells her, "Jump, I will catch you." That's how God is. All God is saying is, "My child, jump, I will catch you." And you see, in the process of the jumping, as you're falling, that fall is the waiting. Because when once God catches you,
Yeah.
that is the appointed time. You were in yesterday's class, right? For the DLD that we had.
Okay, yes, I
That
was.
Steve Harvey, I really love Amma so much.
Yeah.
I don't know, shout out to Steve Harvey, I love you, sir. He made mention of lead. I'm just trying to draw that towards what we are talking about. Because most leaders don't have the ability to wait. Do you understand? They don't have the ability to wait through the process. They don't have the ability to okay, like they believe, like look at Solomon now.
Mm-hmm.
He was somebody highly blessed by God.
Yeah.
But why did he turn away from God? Why? Because he wasn't satisfied with God. He wasn't okay. He wanted to test out other things. He wanted to see other things. And that's what happened with us today too as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're not patient to wait for God, so we test out other places. Like why would a beautiful person as yourself go to the bush to get into one inside the bush, seek for answers? Why? Why would you do that? Why not wait with God? Now, most leaders are not waiting on God or waiting with God. With what Steve Harvey said yesterday, do you have any comment concerning that in the aspect of it's not when you were born or when you die, but it's that dash in the middle. What do you think about what he said?
Yeah, I think that really struck me while we're watching the video. Like, no one really cares about when you were born or when you died, or maybe even how many years you spent, but it's more about the impact that you made on the earth during that time. And we all know that as we come into the world, God has a plan for each and every one of us, like you mentioned earlier. So, what people are going to look at is, were you able to fulfill that purpose, right? What purpose did you fulfill during your time here on earth, right? And of course, that only happens when you are consistently leaning on God's direction, leaning on God's guidance in all that you do, not doing things your own way, right? When God says, wait, you wait. When God says, go this way, you go this way. And that's how you can actually fulfill this purpose that God has set out for every single one of us. And that's the impact that people will remember.
You made mention. God says go, you go. God says stay, you stay. God says don't do this, you don't do it at all. So thank you so much. I've also learned again today. Hope you brought your pen and book, shall all the people that this was watching. And I want to know if you learned anything. Please do drop it in the comment section below. And you can follow her on Instagram, which is showing right now on your screen. And if you have any questions, you can also hit her up on Instagram. She's a content creator, she's a writer. To all the writers out there, a big shout out to you guys because she is doing an amazing job. And if you want to link up, you want to learn from what she has been impacting people over the years, please do well to hit her up on Instagram. So thank you so much,
thank you too,
for having you in the studio and on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hoping to see you on the big screen.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you too.
And do you have anything you would like to say to people?
Well, based on what we spoke about today, I'll just say that I understand that sometimes it can get hard, it can get painful, and God understands how you're feeling. We do not have a high priest that does not understand our own emotions. So no matter what it is, no matter how you're feeling, always remember to speak to God about it because He's your Father, not just a master.
Thank you so much, Wonu, for that insightful word. And please do follow me on Instagram as well, and also on our social media platforms. Thank you all for joining us on the show today, and do have a lovely time, as they say in CPG. And it's a wrap.